Nitro Extreme is our solution to enhance blood flow. It's high in a noni extract, which is high in these compounds called nitrates that can encourage our body's natural production of something called nitric oxide, which is the body's primary biomolecule that encourages blood flow. So nitric oxide can help open up blood vessels to the brain, to the heart, to the muscles, to every tissue in the body, so that you get better blood flow, better oxygen delivery, better nutrient delivery, and that's gonna benefit the performance of every single tissue in the body. It's really easy to take. Just a couple of drops. You might want to hold it under your tongue for a little while so the bacteria in your mouth can actually work on those nitrates, convert them into nitric oxide, and you can get those blood flow benefits throughout the entire body. But even if you just swallow it, it will work throughout your entire system, delivering better nitric oxide production that's going to benefit every single one of your tissues. So if you're looking to fuel your mental performance or your physical performance, or just get through the day with the highest energy levels possible, Nitro Extreme is something that you want to give a try.
Good evening. I'm still reporting on the coup. This is an exclusive, a warning that a credible threat exists against the United States for tomorrow, Friday the 13th of October. The threat comes from a certain group of Muslims who also belong to organized African gangs, many of whom have come waltzing across our southern border in the last few months. We have known about this group of African Muslim gangs for several days. However, most experts believe that these sleeper cells would not be activated until November 5th, 2023, exactly 1 year from Election Day 2024 in the U.S. However, late yesterday, this analysis was changed due to this direct threat by the former Hamas chief, Khalid Mashal. Here was the coverage of Mashal's call to arms last night.
The world are all now on high alert for more terror attacks from radical Islamic jihadi death cultists following the Hamas attack on Israel last week. And more could be coming this Friday. Is that what we're hearing, Jen?
That's what we're hearing, Chris. The former leader and founding member of Hamas is asking all Muslims to follow his call for a global day of rage. Speaking from Qatar, Khalid Mashal said, quote, "We must head to the squares and streets of the Arab and Islamic world on Friday." He continued, "Tribes of Jordan, sons of Jordan, brothers and sisters of Jordan, this is a moment of truth, and the borders are close to you. You all know your responsibility." The terrorist leader asked for Muslims around the world to help with financial jihad, but added that while funds are important, he's asking for Muslims' blood and souls. His recorded statement also calls, quote, "To all scholars who teach jihad, to all who teach and learn, this is a moment for the application of theories." And Daniel, this has a lot of people in a bit of a panic right now as they look toward Friday, look toward the weekend, if they're traveling, if they might be in a big city. A lot of people are saying avoid crowded places. We weren't thinking about terrorism like this in recent years until what we've seen, play out in Israel. A lot of people comparing it, saying this is their 9/11. You look at our open border right now, and I've been saying for months, is it going to take another 9/11 here for this administration to secure our borders, because we have seen so many people come through that we don't know who they are, they haven't been vetted, that could be planning the next attack here on American soil.
And, I'd note that Khalid Mashal is calling for others to commit a global day of jihad from the safety of a green screen in Qatar. But I think that Qatar, as an ostensible U.S. ally, has a lot to answer for harboring Hamas leadership. They've been living in five-star hotels in Qatar for a very long time.
However, this call to arms by Mashal was the last piece that fits into a vast puzzle for those who follow such threats. Muslim terror groups like to emphasize the importance of attacks being conducted on certain days which are meaningful to those who suffer the attacks. Why not call for an attack on the United States on the nearest handy Friday the 13th? As a result, a special group of investigators stepped up their surveillance of these Muslim African gangs today, according to sources. Today, they were all suddenly in a hurry, very much in a hurry. They seemed to be running scared. All the mosques today have been pretty much empty. Yes, empty. Evening prayers are almost a requirement, but today was the exception. Well, according to our sources, after Mishal's call to arms of yesterday, about midday today, the terror threat level forecast for tomorrow, Friday the 13th, surged up to credible threat status. Now, no one wants a credible threat on the U.S. homeland. However, since no one else is reporting on this threat, we will tell you what we can, but we urge you to be cautious with the following information. A few days ago, a group of police officials was asked to attend a briefing on the situation somewhere in the U.S. in a large urban metro. The briefing was prefaced with the latest updates on the war raging between Israel and Hamas fighters inside the Gaza Strip. Then the briefers turned their attention to the possible consequences for the United States of virtually unchecked illegal immigration across our southern border this year. To everyone's surprise, the briefers said the biggest threat is from a group of African gangs that no one has heard of before. These gangs are slowly forming across the U.S., especially in the large metro areas of New York, Chicago, and L.A. However, also in smaller metro areas as well. African gangs from Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, Niger, Mauritania, and Algeria are the ones most involved. These gangs have set up headquarters in the big metro areas in the Midwest and the South and battle for control over the nefarious operations of more legacy U.S. gangs, including drug trafficking, robbery, extortion, and murder. These African gangs seem to be merging into a legacy gang in the U.S. called the Vice Lords, according to a source. The Vice Lords now have a membership of between 30 and 35,000. According to one source, right now these Africans are doing what we call spotting. They are watching areas of drugs where gangs are heavy and make millions from the drug trade from the Mexican cartels. They are finding their weak spots and putting together their plan to disrupt and take over. They're also monitoring all the traffic that flows from the surrounding businesses to spot any cash leaving the business to be dropped off at a local bank after closing. How do they do it? The same way they do it in Africa, an all-out takeover. They kill. Where this gang action is most prevalent is in the big blue states, California, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, and Michigan. Then the briefers estimated when this activity would turn into a serious security problem for the U.S. America will soon have its own Hamas and Hezbollah within, organized at record speed, fueled by America's drug money and Joe Biden's limitless generosity to what to us are obvious security risks. Something bad will happen between now and November 5th, but if certain arms of the federal government would wake up and do their jobs, this could all be averted, said the source. However, that was the day before Mishal's call to arms of yesterday. That changed everything. Yesterday, this group went into high alert, calling the possibility for jihad to come to America tomorrow now a reasonable possibility. So what's the average American to do tomorrow? The source said, stay away from big crowds. Tomorrow evening and through the weekend is typically a time for large crowds to gather at sporting events. But average everyday places like grocery stores could possibly be targets. Just think what would be the most likely event to spread terror amongst the population. That's what they are after. I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day.